Once again, everyone, and welcome back to Weather for Weather Geeks here on this Thursday evening. We're going to look at the weekend forecast and take a look at next week as well in this video. But I wanted to start out this evening with just a little bit of a review of 2022, the year in weather for our area. I'll put a longer blog post online probably this evening with a little more details as far as how the weather went in the Youngstown area here in 2022. Here's a look at my top 3 stories for the year. Number 1, that very busy Sunday, Labor Day weekend, September the 4th, we had big-time flooding and an EF0 tornado in the Boardman area. From Canfield to Boardman, we had way too much rain, 3 to 5 inches of rain, and not far from the Southern Park Mall, we did have an EF0 tornado that briefly touched down. I was on my way home from the Canfield Fair that afternoon and was in the car the entire time that the tornado warning was active, so I had to kind of sit out that one, if you will. But that was certainly a very busy day. Before I left the fair, it was a real deluge, that is for sure, with water like this all across the pavement in the Canfield Fairgrounds. Number 2 on the list. Recently, the second biggest weather story, in my judgment of the year, happened right around Christmas time with all the cold and the wind, especially right before the holiday. 31 degree below zero wind chill on Friday the 23rd in the afternoon as temperatures dropped below zero and the wind continued to kick up. This was the coldest Christmas day in 39 years since 1983. We had a high temperature in the lower teens on Christmas Sunday. Number 3 story, the cold and snowy January and February. We had a slow start to winter last winter, with December being one of the warmest on record. But then winter really locked in during the second half of January last winter. We had a few pretty big snow events, including a couple double-digit events for parts of our area. And then we had a pretty good thaw during the second half of February. This led to a pretty good episode of river flooding right around February 18th, one of the highest crests of the Mahoning River at Youngstown on record with that second half of February flooding. So those are my top 3 weather stories for the year. If I missed something, if there's something that was more memorable than those events for you, be sure and leave me a comment, whether it's on YouTube or in my Facebook feed. Let me know what you think of the weather here in 2022. One of the things I'll be talking about in my year in review, which will shed a little more light or have a few more details on the weather this year. Precipitation compared to the average. We were kind of cut in half in our viewing area. Areas around and south and east of Youngstown generally wetter than the average in these blue and green colors. We did have some drier areas closer to average and even a little below average in some spots out in the western part of our viewing area. Southington, Mesopotamia, Newton Falls, down to Craig Beach. That was kind of the driest zone in our TV viewing area, but nobody had an exceptionally dry year locally. I can zoom out a little bit here and show you where it was kind of dry this year. Up in parts of New England, where you see these tans and reds, it was dry there in 2022. Parts of east central Pennsylvania, and a few mountainous areas down into West Virginia, a little bit drier than the average. But look how much wetter than the average it was outside of the mountains in West Virginia in 2022. All right, back here in the here and now. Warmth today. In fact, it was an overachiever today. It got warmer than we thought it would. We had a forecast in the upper 40s today, but sunshine lasted a little longer this morning, allowing us to get off to a quick start. And so it ended up 18 degrees warmer than the average today. That puts the number at the airport pretty impressive, 54. Now, that's not record territory. The record high today is 62 in 1984. But 54 is very nice for this time of the year, and 38 the low this morning. That's above where our average high is at this time of the year. So today's big number, a really big number, 85 degrees. That's the difference between today's air temperature and the wind chill that we experienced last Friday. The wind chill at the airport, 31 below zero. The air temperature today, 54. That's an 85 degree difference. That's a pretty big swing in less than a week. All right, clouds won the battle today. These clouds will be fairly unproductive in the short term. Might get a shower in some spots by the end of the night tonight, but more wet weather is heading our way as we head into the weekend. So rainfall totals through Saturday night are probably going to average somewhere in here, maybe 3/4 of an inch. The European model is the most ambitious with close to an inch. The GRAF, G-R-A-F, model is down here at about 1/4 of an inch. A good average will be about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Free car wash, if you will. A lot of this is going to come during the daylight hours on Saturday and early Saturday evening. But on our Friday, clouds will win out. It'll be mild. Maybe a shower here and there, but I think there'll be plenty of dry time on Friday. We won't be so lucky, though, on Saturday. Rain pushes in towards daybreak, and it's here for a lot of the day. It might try to taper off pretty early. This sequence of events is a little bit faster than it looked like it would be a day or two ago. So the rain may taper off before the evening is through, leaving us with mostly dry weather as the clock strikes midnight Saturday night, and the first day of 2023 likely to be cloudy to at times partly sunny. Maybe there's a little fog in the morning, just kind of a ho-hum day. It looks like this disturbance is going to miss us to the north, so we've removed any rain chances from our Sunday forecast. So the weekend forecast shapes up like this. Mild, 50 degrees Saturday. Midnight temperature Saturday night, probably in the mid-40s. Eventually ending up in the mid-30s by the end of the night. And on Sunday, if you're nursing a hangover or just taking it easy, celebrating the new year with family or friends, it's going to be an uneventful day outside. A lot of clouds around, a few peaks of sun. Watch for some fog early on. If you're looking for snow, this is not your pattern. We're going to ignore this run of the GFS. I think over the next week, a little, if any, snowfall is going to occur in our part of the country. I think we'll have to wait until we're deeper into January to see better chances for some accumulating snow. Next Thursday, 7 days from now, we might get a little wet snow mixed with rain, but at this point I would not expect anything in terms of substantial accumulations with that. That'll do it for me tonight. Thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks tonight. Again, look for maybe before the evening is through a blog post on ericwfmg.com recapping the year in weather 2022.